Your life, right now, is the result of a binding contract you have with the universe. You are living out the precise terms and conditions of an agreement you made long ago. An agreement about what you are worthy of, what is possible for you, and how much abundance you are allowed to receive. The problem is, you never consciously read this contract. You signed it unconsciously in childhood, and you have been faithfully honoring its limiting clauses ever since. This guide is your official notice that you have the power to terminate that old agreement. It will walk you through the process of canceling your old, unconscious contracts of scarcity, and will then serve as your divine legal counsel, helping you to draft, negotiate, and sign a brand new, magnificent, and soul-aligned contract with the universe, one that is filled with clauses of infinite abundance, joy, and success. Your contract with the universe, asking, aligning, and co-creating, written and published by Success Attraction Formula. Chapter 1. Canceling your old contracts of scarcity. Right now, as you read these words, your life is being governed by a series of powerful, binding, and legally enforceable contracts that you never consciously agreed to sign. These are your old contracts of scarcity. They are the invisible agreements, the subconscious terms and conditions that were drafted for you and signed on your behalf when you were a young and impressionable child. The co-authors of these contracts were your environment, your family's beliefs about money, and society's rules about what is possible and what is not. These contracts contain clauses that dictate how hard you must struggle, how much you are allowed to earn, and what you must do to be considered worthy of success. A clause in your contract might state, "Money is the root of all evil, and to be a good person, you must subtly repel it." Another clause might read, "Success is only for people who are smarter or more talented than you are." Yet another might declare, "Life must be a constant struggle, and ease is a sign of laziness." Though you are a free and powerful being, you have been living your entire life in faithful and unconscious obedience to the terms of these old, limiting, and often painful contracts. You feel stuck, you feel limited, you feel as though some invisible force is holding you back, and you are right. You are being held back by the fine print of your own forgotten agreements. The transformative and most liberating truth you can ever embrace is that you are not a prisoner of these old contracts. You are a sovereign being with the absolute and inalienable right to declare any past agreement null and void. The first step in drafting a magnificent new contract with the universe is to first formally and ceremonially cancel the old ones. This is the sacred and essential work of spiritual decluttering. It is the process of becoming a conscious and empowered lawyer for your own soul, of reviewing the old agreements that have been running your life, and of making the powerful choice to no longer be bound by their terms. This is not an act of blame or anger toward the people or circumstances that wrote your old contracts. They were simply operating from their own set of inherited agreements. This is an act of supreme self-love and liberation. It is the moment you decide to stop living out a story that was written for you, and you finally pick up the pen to write your own. When you consciously cancel your old contracts of scarcity, you create a beautiful, clean slate, a divine blank page upon which you can now begin to write a new, magnificent agreement for a life of limitless abundance. To begin this process, you must first become aware of the specific terms of your old contracts. Like any good lawyer, you must read the document before you can nullify it. This requires you to become an archaeologist of your own subconscious mind, gently digging to uncover the hidden beliefs that have been shaping your reality. To do this, you will perform a contract audit in your journal. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed, and with a spirit of gentle curiosity, complete the following sentences with the very first thoughts that come to your mind. Do not censor or judge your answers. The prompts are, the unspoken rule in my family about money was always, what I learned about my own capabilities growing up was, my deep down belief about what it takes to be successful is, the story I have always told myself about my own worthiness is, and when I see someone who is very wealthy and successful, my first automatic thought is, your honest answers to these questions will reveal the core clauses of your scarcity contracts. You might uncover clauses like, Clause 1, you must work twice as hard as everyone else to get half as much. Or Clause 2, it is not safe to be too successful, as it will attract jealousy and criticism. Or Clause 3, you are only worthy of love and respect if you are constantly productive and sacrificing your own needs. Seeing these clauses written down in black and white is a profound moment of awakening. You begin to see them not as universal laws, but as specific, arbitrary, and often illogical rules that you have been unconsciously following. Once you have identified the clauses, the next step is to recognize the signatures. A contract is only valid if it has been signed. Your old scarcity contracts were signed into your subconscious mind with the powerful and permanent ink of childhood emotion. To weaken the power of a clause, you must identify the moment and the emotion with which it was signed. For each limiting clause you have uncovered, you will gently ask yourself, where did I learn this? What specific experiences in my life proved this clause to be true? For the clause, it's not safe to be successful, you might trace it back to a memory of being teased as a child for getting a good grade, an experience that signed the contract with the emotional ink of shame and fear of rejection. For the clause, you must work twice as hard, you might trace it back to watching a beloved parent work themselves to exhaustion every day, a contract signed with the ink of love and a desire to emulate them. When you can see that these powerful clauses are not absolute truths, but simply conclusions you drew from specific, emotionally charged events in your past, they begin to lose their power. You can look at them with compassion and say, I understand why I signed that contract. It was the only way I knew how to make sense of the world back then. But it is an old document, and it no longer applies to the person I am today. With this new awareness and compassionate understanding, you are now ready for the final and most powerful step, the act of nullification. You are now going to formally and ceremonially declare your old contracts null and void. This is a sacred ritual of liberation, and you should treat it as such. Take a piece of paper and at the top write, My old, outdated contracts of scarcity. Then, list the primary limiting clauses that you have uncovered through your audit. Once your list is complete, you will stand up, hold the paper in your hands, and you will read each clause aloud one last time. After reading them, you will speak a formal declaration with power and conviction in your voice. You can use these words or create your own. I, as a sovereign and creative being, do hereby declare that these old contracts are now and forevermore null and void. I acknowledge that they were created from a place of fear and limitation, and while they may have served a purpose in the past, they no longer align with the truth of who I am and the magnificent life I choose to create. I release all parties from these agreements, and I release myself from all obligations to honor these terms. I am now free. Then you will perform a symbolic act of destruction. You will take the paper and you will safely burn it, watching the old words turn to smoke and ash, or you will tear it into the smallest possible pieces and release them to the wind or the water. This ritual is a powerful statement to your own subconscious mind and to the universe that you are no longer available for a life of scarcity. You have now done the brave, profound, and essential work of canceling the old, disempowering contracts that have been silently running your life for years. You are standing in a new and powerful place of freedom, holding a beautiful, clean sheet of paper, a divine blank slate. An exhilarating sense of possibility is in the air. How do you now begin to draft the clear, precise, and powerful terms of a brand new contract, a sacred agreement between you and the universe that is aligned with your soul's deepest and most magnificent desires for abundance? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 2. Drafting the Terms of Your Desire. Imagine you are an architect and a lawyer, tasked with creating the single most important document of your life, a binding creative contract that will govern the entire next chapter of your reality. Every clause must be drafted with care, every term must be defined with precision, and every word must be chosen with conscious intention. For your co-signer on this contract, the universe is infinitely powerful, infinitely benevolent, and also infinitely literal. It will honor the contract exactly as it is written. Vague terms will lead to vague results. Ambiguous clauses will lead to ambiguous manifestations. An uninspired contract will lead to an uninspired life. This is the thrilling and vital work that is now before you. Now that you have cleared the slate by canceling your old contracts of scarcity, you are no longer bound by the past. You are free to draft the terms of a magnificent new reality. The challenge that many people face at this exciting stage is that they approach this sacred task with the same old vague habits of mind. Their desire for a new life is fuzzy and unfocused. They want to be happy, or to be successful, or to have more money. These are not powerful contract clauses. They are flimsy, unenforceable wishes. They are like a legal document that says, "I would like some nice things to happen, please." This lack of clarity and specificity is a primary reason that our desires fail to manifest. We are not giving our powerful co-creator, the universe, a clear and workable blueprint from which to build. The transformative solution is to step fully into your power as a divine drafter. You must approach the creation of your new contract with the precision of a lawyer and the visionary artistry of an architect. You must get crystal clear on the specific, tangible, and experiential terms of the life you now choose to create. In the realm of universal law, clarity is not optional. It is a legal requirement for manifestation. A clear, specific, and emotionally charged contract is a powerful, focused signal that the universe can lock onto and begin to act upon immediately. A fuzzy, generic contract is a weak and scattered signal that gets lost in the cosmic static. When you take the time to meticulously and joyfully draft the terms of your desire, you are moving from a passive daydreamer to a powerful, focused, and deliberate creator. You are honoring your own desires by giving them the gift of your focused attention, and you are honoring your divine partner by providing it with a beautiful, coherent, and magnificent plan that you can both joyfully begin to co-create. The first principle in drafting your contract is to define the clauses of form. This is where you get specific about the what of your desire. This is not about limiting the universe, but about providing it with a clear and joyful target. You must move your desire from an abstract concept into a concrete, detailed vision. The practice for this is to create your blueprint of abundance in your journal. You will create specific clauses for the key areas of your abundant life. For example, under a heading like Clause 1, My Abundant Career, you will not just write a better job. You will write a detailed description. I am joyfully engaged in a creative and fulfilling career using my natural talents for... List your talents here. I work in a supportive and inspiring environment with a collaborative team. My work makes a positive impact on the world, and I feel a deep sense of purpose every single day. Under a heading like Clause 2, My Abundant Home, you will describe your ideal living environment in sensory detail. I am living in a beautiful, light-filled home that is a peaceful and rejuvenating sanctuary. It has list-specific features like a big kitchen, a garden, a comfortable reading nook. By drafting these specific clauses, you are creating a high-definition picture for the universe to work with. The second, and perhaps most important principle, is to define the clauses of feeling. The universe delivers experiences and feelings, and the physical things we desire are simply the channels through which we expect to receive those feelings. The most powerful terms in your contract are not the external forms, but the internal states of being you wish to embody. The practice for this is the essence inquiry, which utilizes the 5 whys technique. For each major clause of form you have drafted, you will now uncover its emotional essence. Let's take the clause about the career. 1. Why do I want this creative and fulfilling career? To feel excited and engaged in my daily life. 2. Why do I want to feel excited and engaged? So I can stop feeling bored and stagnant. Why do I want to stop feeling bored? So I can feel like I am growing and expanding as a person. Why do I want to feel that I am growing? So I can feel a sense of purpose. 5. Why do I want to feel a sense of purpose? Because feeling a sense of purpose makes me feel deeply alive and joyful. The essence, the core clause of feeling for your career is to feel joyfully and purposefully alive. You will now add these essence clauses to your contract. Your career clause now reads, I am joyfully engaged in a creative and fulfilling career. In order to experience a daily feeling of being joyfully and purposefully alive. By defining the essence, you are defining the true spirit of the contract, which is what the universe is most interested in fulfilling. The third and final principle in drafting your contract is to include the terms and conditions of the experience. This is where you add the final, beautiful details that define the overall quality of your co-creative experience with the universe. These are the clauses that ensure that the journey is just as beautiful as the destination. The practice here is to add a few overarching, universal clauses to your contract. These might include statements like, Clause 5.1, all of the terms of this contract shall manifest with ease, grace, and joy. This clause prevents you from manifesting your desires through struggle and hardship. Another powerful clause is Clause 5.2. This contract shall manifest in a way that is for my highest good and the highest good of all concerned. This beautiful clause ensures that your manifestations are in true alignment and do not cause harm to yourself or others. A final, wonderful clause to include is Clause 5.3. This, or something even better, is now manifesting for me. This clause is a statement of profound trust. It keeps you open to the possibility that the universe, in its infinite wisdom, may have an even more magnificent plan for you than the one you have drafted. It is the ultimate expression of a true and trusting partnership. By including these overarching terms, you are ensuring that your entire creative process will be one of joy, alignment, and magical surprise. You are now the divine drafter of a sacred and powerful document. You have taken your vague hopes and transformed them into a clear, specific, and soul-aligned contract, a blueprint for the magnificent chapter that is to come. You have defined the form, you have uncovered the essence, and you have set the terms for a joyful and graceful creative process. But every contract, in order to be valid, must be a two-way agreement. A list of demands is not a partnership. You have now clearly and beautifully defined what you are asking the universe to deliver. But what is your side of the agreement? How do you now define the sacred and powerful obligations that you must joyfully fulfill in order to make this sacred contract valid, binding, and active? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 3. Defining your side of the agreement. In any successful and honorable partnership, whether in business or in life, the relationship is built on a foundation of mutual contribution and shared responsibility. A partnership where one party is expected to do all the work and provide all the value, while the other party simply sits back and waits to receive, is not a partnership at all. It is a state of dependency. It is an unbalanced and ultimately unsustainable relationship. The sacred agreement you are creating with the universe is the ultimate partnership. It is a co-creative endeavor between you, as an individualized expression of divine energy, and the universe as the infinite field of all potential. And just like any healthy partnership, it requires a two-sided contract. The great challenge that many people face in their creative practice is that they approach the universe with a one-sided, getting mindset. They meticulously draft the terms of what they want the universe to give them, the money, the relationship, the success, but they completely neglect to define their own role, their own contributions, and their own sacred responsibilities in this divine partnership. This creates a passive and often entitled energy that is not conducive to powerful creation. It is the energy of a cosmic delivery service, not a co-creative dance. A one-sided contract is not a valid contract. To truly activate your agreement and to step into your full power as a co-creator, you must now turn your attention to the other side of the page. You must joyfully and consciously define your side of the agreement. The transformative solution is to fully embrace the principle of co-creation. You must shift your entire perspective from what am I going to get to what am I committed to becoming and contributing. You will now draft the powerful and inspiring clauses that outline your sacred obligations under the terms of this new contract. This is not a burden or a chore. It is the most empowering part of the entire process. This is where you claim your power. By defining your side of the agreement, You are moving from the role of a passive beneficiary to the role of an active and essential partner. You are telling the universe, I am not just waiting to receive, I am a committed, responsible, and powerful partner in this process. I am ready to do my part. This is the energy that the universe loves to work with. When you clearly define and consistently fulfill your side of the agreement, the universe will move heaven and earth to joyfully and rapidly fulfill its side. The first and most important obligation you must define is the clause of being. Before you do anything, you must be someone. Your primary responsibility in this partnership is to become the person who is an energetic match for the reality you wish to create. The universe cannot deliver a life of magnificent abundance to a person who continues to embody the energy of scarcity. You must agree to become the person who is capable of receiving and sustaining the blessings you have asked for. The practice is to write your own clause of being into your contract. This clause will outline the identity, the mindset, and the dominant emotional state you are committing to embodying. For example, your clause of being might read, I, the recipient of this contract, do hereby agree to consistently and joyfully embody the identity of a wealthy, healthy, and divinely guided individual. I commit to cultivating a mindset of abundance, to speaking the language of faith, and to making the feeling of joyful gratitude my dominant emotional state. I agree to be the energetic match for the miracles I am receiving. This clause is your commitment to manage your own vibration. It is you, agreeing to do the essential inner work required to become the person who can comfortably and naturally live in the beautiful new reality you are co-creating. The second crucial obligation is the clause of action. Your divine partner, the universe, works in the realm of energy, synchronicity, and opportunity. Your role, as the partner with boots on the ground, is to work in the realm of physical action. You must agree to be the hands and feet of this partnership in the material world. It is essential to understand that this is not about struggle or hustle. This is about taking consistent, joyful, and inspired action. Inspired action is the action you take in response to the intuitive nudges and the opportunities that the universe provides. The practice is to write your clause of action into your contract. This clause will define your commitment to being in responsive action. It might read, I, the recipient of this contract, do hereby agree to take at least one small, inspired action every single day that moves me in the direction of my desired outcome. I commit to listening to my intuition and to acting on its guidance without hesitation. I agree to be the courageous and proactive hero of the story we are writing together, consistently moving the plot forward through my decisive and faith-filled actions. By defining this clause, you are making a sacred promise that you will not be a passive partner. You are agreeing to meet the universe halfway, to do your part in the physical world to help bring your shared vision into reality. The third and final obligation is the clause of stewardship. This clause defines how you will treat the blessings once they have been delivered. The universe is a wise investor. It will not continue to deliver vast resources to someone who is a poor steward of them. You must agree to treat the abundance you receive with respect, with wisdom, and with a spirit of generosity. This demonstrates that you are a responsible and trustworthy partner, which encourages the universe to send you even more. The practice is to write your clause of stewardship into your contract. It might sound something like this. I, the recipient of this contract, do hereby agree to be a wise and grateful steward of all the abundance I receive. I commit to managing my financial resources with intelligence and integrity. I commit to honoring my body with nourishing food and joyful movement. I commit to nurturing my relationships with love and presence. And I commit to allowing the abundance that flows to me to also flow through me, sharing my blessings with others in joyful and meaningful ways. This beautiful clause completes your side of the agreement. It shows the universe that you are not just interested in getting, but also in growing, managing, and contributing. It defines you as a mature and magnificent co-creative partner. Your sacred contract is now a complete, balanced, and powerful two-way agreement. You have clearly and beautifully defined the magnificent terms that you are asking your divine partner, the universe, to deliver. And you have now defined your own sacred and empowering obligations in this magnificent partnership. The terms are clear, the agreement is fair, and the energy is one of mutual respect and joyful collaboration. What is the final, powerful, and ceremonial act that takes this beautiful document from a simple draft to a legally binding, universally recognized, and fully activated contract? How do you now formally and sacredly sign your new contract with the universe? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 4. Signing your contract with the universe. Consider the world of high-stakes business. Two powerful companies have spent months in careful negotiation. Their lawyers have worked tirelessly, drafting and redrafting a complex and detailed contract that will shape the future of both organizations. The terms have been agreed upon, the clauses have been perfected, and the document representing a magnificent new partnership lies on the boardroom table. What is the final, most powerful, and most significant moment in this entire process? It is the moment the leaders of both companies pick up their pens and with a firm and confident hand affix their signatures to the page. In that single ceremonial moment, everything changes. What was once just a potential, a draft, a collection of ideas, instantly becomes a living, binding, and legally enforceable reality. The act of signing is an act of ultimate commitment, a declaration of faith in the partnership, and the energetic trigger that sets the entire agreement into motion. The same is true for your sacred agreement with the universe. You have done the meticulous work of drafting the terms of your desire and defining your own obligations. But the document remains a powerless draft until you perform the final ceremonial act of signing it. The problem is that most people never take this final, crucial step. Their beautiful new contract remains an unsigned wish, a hopeful intention that lacks the final, energetic seal of absolute commitment and unwavering faith. They are waiting for the universe to act first, not realizing that the universe is waiting for their signature. The transformative solution is to engage in the sacred and powerful signing ceremony for your new contract with the universe. This is the moment you formally and ceremonially activate your agreement, transforming it from a passive document into an active, living force in your life. You must understand that your signature in this divine context is not written with ink. It is written with the potent and undeniable energy of your own focused emotion and your absolute faith. The act of signing is the act of generating, within your own being, the profound and unshakable feeling that the terms of your contract are already a done deal. It is the moment you stop hoping for your new reality, and you start living in the emotional state of its absolute certainty. This sacred ceremony is the most powerful declaration you can make. It is your formal notification to every level of your own consciousness and to the universal intelligence that you are all in, that you are fully committed, and that you are now officially operating under the terms of this new, magnificent agreement. The first principle in this sacred act is to understand that your signature is your embodied faith. Faith is not a thought, it is a feeling. It is a deep, visceral, and embodied sense of knowing. Before you can sign your contract, you must first generate this energy within you. The practice for this is the future memory visualization. Find a quiet and sacred space for your ceremony. Hold your written contract in your hands, but do not read it yet. First, close your eyes. In your imagination, travel forward in time to a point where your contract has been fully and beautifully fulfilled. Do not just see it, experience it as a cherished memory. Feel the deep sense of peace that comes from your financial abundance. Feel the joyful connection of your soul-aligned relationship. Feel the vibrant health in your body. Make this future memory so real and so vivid that your body begins to respond as if it has already happened. You might feel a wave of profound relief, a surge of quiet joy, or tears of gratitude might well up in your eyes. This deep, resonant, and grateful feeling is your signature. It is the energetic seal of approval. You must generate this feeling first, for it is with this powerful emotional ink that you will now sign your sacred agreement. Once you are filled with the powerful feeling of your wish already fulfilled, the second principle is the ceremony of ratification. You will now make this energetic signature official. This is your formal signing ceremony, a ritual to honor the importance of this moment. While still holding the feeling of your future memory, you will now open your eyes and read your contract aloud. Read every single clause, both the universe's side and your own, with a voice of calm, confident authority. You are not asking, you are declaring. You are not wishing, you are ratifying the terms of a reality that you now accept as true. After you have read the entire contract aloud, you will take a special pen, one that you have designated for this sacred purpose, and you will physically sign your name at the bottom of the document. As you sign, you are not just writing your name. You are consciously pouring all of the beautiful, grateful, and certain energy of your future memory through your hand, through the pen, and into the very fibers of the paper. Your physical signature becomes a tangible anchor for your energetic signature. This ceremonial act is a powerful psychological and spiritual event. It signals to every part of your being that this is not a game. This is a real, binding, and sacred commitment. The third and final principle of the signing is the binding clause of release. In any legal agreement, once the contract is signed, it is then filed away with a trusted authority. The parties then release the document and begin to act upon its terms. They trust that the agreement is now in effect. The same must be true for your contract with the universe. The final act of signing is the act of complete and total surrender. Clinging to your contract, obsessing over it, and constantly rereading it after you have signed it is an act of doubt. It is like telling your divine co-author, I don't really trust you to hold up your end of the bargain. This anxious energy of control can weaken the power of the agreement. The practice, therefore, is the sacred seal and surrender. After you have signed your contract, you will perform a final symbolic act to seal it and release it. You can fold the contract and seal the envelope with wax. You can roll it up like a scroll and tie it with a beautiful ribbon. You will then place your sealed contract in a special sacred place, a contract box on an altar, or somewhere else where it will be honored but not obsessively revisited. As you place it there, you will say a final, powerful statement of release. The contract is signed, sealed, and delivered. I have done my part with love and faith. I now release it to the universe to do its part. It is done. This final act of surrender is what truly makes the contract binding. It is your ultimate demonstration of trust in your magnificent partner. Your sacred contract with the universe is now officially signed, ratified, and in full effect. You have made a powerful, conscious, and binding agreement for a new reality. The terms are set, the partnership is official, and the creative process has been initiated. But a contract is not just a document to be signed and filed away. It is a living agreement that requires ongoing commitment from both parties. You have clearly defined your obligations in this partnership. How do you now begin the daily joyful work of fulfilling your side of the agreement? How do you live your life, day in and day out, as the powerful, committed, and active co-creator you have agreed to be? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 5. Co-creating, fulfilling your daily obligations. Think of the most successful and beautiful partnership you know. It could be a marriage of 50 years, a thriving business partnership, or a lifelong friendship. What is the secret to its success? Did the partners simply sign an agreement on the first day and then passively hope for the best? Of course not. The success of their partnership was not determined by the signing of the contract, but by the thousands of small, consistent, and loving actions they took every single day to honor the terms of that agreement. A successful partnership is a living, breathing creation that is nurtured daily through commitment, action, and mutual respect. Your sacred contract with the universe is this ultimate partnership. You have now signed the agreement with faith and power. The initial exciting part of the process is complete. Now comes the most important and most rewarding work of all, the daily, joyful practice of fulfilling your side of the agreement. The great challenge that many people face after the initial excitement of setting a new intention is that they quickly fall back into their old, unconscious habits of thought and action. They have signed a contract to be an abundant, confident person, but they continue to live their daily lives from the old familiar place of scarcity and doubt. This is a breach of contract. It sends a confusing mixed signal to the universe and stalls the manifestation process. To be a powerful co-creator, you must learn to live in constant and joyful integrity with the sacred promises you have made. The transformative solution is to embrace your role as an active and committed partner with the universe. You must see the fulfillment of your contractual obligations not as a chore or a burden, but as a joyful and empowering daily practice. Every single day, you have a beautiful opportunity to honor your side of the agreement, to cast a vote for your new reality, and to demonstrate to your divine partner that you are a reliable, trustworthy, and all-in co-creator. When you consistently and joyfully fulfill your daily obligations, the universe, by law, must match your energy and your commitment. It will begin to deliver its side of the agreement with a speed and a grace that will astound you. This is the essence of co-creation. It is not about waiting for the universe to do something. It is about joyfully doing your part and trusting that your partner is joyfully doing its part. This is where the true power and the true joy of the creative process are found. Your first and most important daily obligation is to honor the clause of being. As you defined in your contract, your primary role is to consistently and deliberately embody the identity and the energetic state of the person who is already living your new reality. Your state of being is your most powerful point of attraction. The practice for this is the morning embodiment ritual. Each morning, before you engage with the world, you will dedicate a few minutes to consciously stepping into the being of your new contract. You can do this by first rereading your clause of being from your contract. Then you will close your eyes and ask yourself, how does the person who is living this reality feel? You will then use your creative imagination to generate that specific feeling in your body. If your contract is for a life of joyful financial freedom, you will generate the feeling of peace, of security, of ease. You will let this feeling fill your entire body. Then you will set a simple intention for the day. Today, I will move through my day as a person of peace, security, and ease. This simple 5-minute ritual is incredibly powerful. It sets your energetic tone for the entire day and ensures that you are consistently honoring the most important clause in your entire agreement, the clause that defines who you have agreed to be. Your second daily obligation is to fulfill the clause of action. Your contract is not just about being, it is also about doing. You have agreed to be the hands and feet of this partnership in the physical world. Your job is to listen for the guidance of your divine partner, the universe, and to act on it decisively. The practice for this is taking inspired action. This is very different from the forceful, anxious hustle of the old scarcity contracts. Inspired action feels different. It often feels light, exciting, intuitive, and almost effortless. It is the action you take in response to a sudden intuitive nudge, a creative idea that pops into your head, or a synchronistic opportunity that appears. Your daily commitment is to take at least one small inspired action that aligns with the terms of your contract. To receive this inspiration, you must create moments of quiet in your day to listen. In these quiet moments, you can ask a simple question. Universe, what is my next, most aligned step? Then, you must pay attention to the ideas and opportunities that appear. For example, your contract is for a new loving relationship. As you are sitting in quiet, you get a sudden urge to sign up for a pottery class. This is an inspired action. You act on it without hesitation. At that class, you meet your new partner. You did not have to force it. You simply had to listen to the guidance of your co-author and joyfully fulfill your clause of action. Your third and final daily obligation is to conduct a gentle and loving daily performance review. In any effective partnership, both parties check in with each other to ensure the agreement is being honored. Your daily performance review is your check-in with yourself and with the universe. This is not for self-judgment or criticism. It is for conscious awareness and loving course correction. The practice is simple. At the end of each day, you will take a few minutes with your journal to reflect on 2 questions. The first is, in what ways today did I successfully honor my side of the contract? In my being, in my actions. You will celebrate your wins, no matter how small. This reinforces your new identity and habits. The second question is, in what ways today did I fall back into the terms of an old contract? You will answer this with radical honesty, but also with radical self-compassion. Perhaps you fell into an old pattern of worry, or you failed to take an inspired action out of fear. You will not shame yourself. You will simply acknowledge it and say, I see this old pattern. I forgive myself. Tomorrow, I choose again. This gentle daily review keeps you conscious, it keeps you accountable to your own vision, and it ensures that you are consistently and lovingly showing up as the powerful and committed partner the universe knows you to be. You are now living in a state of beautiful and powerful integrity. You are no longer just a person with a contract. You are a person who is living in conscious and joyful fulfillment of a sacred agreement. You are doing your part. But what about your partner? How does the universe begin to fulfill its side of the agreement? How do you learn to recognize, to receive, and to acknowledge the magnificent and often surprising ways that the universe begins to deliver the terms of your sacred contract to you? Remember to subscribe to Success Attraction Formula, give this video a like, and comment with your personal opinions or suggestions for channel development. Chapter 6. Receiving what the universe delivers. Imagine you have just signed a contract with the world's greatest custom car manufacturer to build your ultimate dream car. The terms are clear, the agreement is binding, and you are fulfilling your side of the bargain by making your payments on time. A few weeks later, a large delivery truck arrives at your home. You rush outside with excitement. The driver unloads not a gleaming finished car, but a series of large, beautifully crafted crates. Inside the first crate is a magnificent high-performance engine. Inside the second is a stunning, perfectly painted chassis. Inside the others are a state-of-the-art navigation system, a set of luxurious leather seats, and a collection of the finest tools. Now, if you were expecting a fully assembled car to be rolled off the truck, how might you react? You might feel confused, disappointed, or even angry. You might reject the delivery, shouting, "This isn't what I asked for." But what if you realized that the manufacturer, your partner, was not just delivering you a product, but was inviting you into the final, joyful, and most rewarding stage of the co-creative process? This is precisely how the universe, your divine partner, often fulfills its side of your sacred contract. It rarely delivers your desire as a single, fully finished product. Instead, it begins to deliver the essential, high-quality components: a powerful opportunity, the engine, a new and supportive relationship, the chassis, a brilliant, inspired idea, the navigation system, and the inner resources of strength and confidence, the tools. The great challenge at this stage is that many of us, because we have a rigid and inflexible picture of what the final product must look like, fail to recognize these precious components as the answer to our prayers. We reject the deliveries, and we miss the beautiful invitation to assemble our own miracle. The transformative and final solution in this co-creative process is to become a master receiver. You must learn to recognize, to accept, and to gratefully acknowledge the deliveries of the universe in all of their varied and often surprising forms. This is the stage where your trust in your partner is truly tested and proven. It requires you to let go of your rigid expectations and to open your eyes to the clever, elegant, and often breathtakingly beautiful ways that the universe orchestrates reality on your behalf. When you become a master receiver, you understand that manifestation is not a vending machine where you put in a request and a finished product drops out. It is a creative dance. The universe delivers a piece, and you, as the grateful and engaged partner, receive it, work with it, and integrate it. This joyful, back-and-forth process of delivery and reception is what keeps the creative momentum going, allowing your magnificent contract to be fulfilled in ways that are often far grander and more beautiful than you could have ever imagined. The first principle of a master receiver is to recognize the deliveries in all their forms. You must expand your awareness beyond looking for just the final outcome and start to notice the components as they arrive. The universe's deliveries often come in the form of synchronicities and ideas. These are the meaningful coincidences, the intuitive nudges, and the sudden aha moments that are the universe's way of delivering the intellectual and energetic components of your desire. For example, your contract is for a successful and fulfilling new career. The universe's first delivery might not be a job offer. It might be a recurring idea that keeps popping into your head about a particular industry, or it might be that you coincidentally meet 3 different people in 1 week who all work in that same industry. These are not accidents, these are deliveries. Another form of delivery is opportunities and resources. The universe will begin to place stepping stone opportunities in your path. It might deliver the opportunity to take a specific class, to meet a key person, or to take on a small project that will build the skills you need for your larger vision. The practice here is to become a mindful observer, constantly and gently scanning your daily life with the question, what is the universe delivering to me in this moment? What is the gift or the component in this situation? By asking this question, you will begin to see a world that is not random, but is filled with constant, meaningful, and supportive deliveries. Once you have learned to recognize a delivery, the second principle is the art of graceful acceptance. It is not enough to just see the delivery truck arrive. You must have the courage and the worthiness to sign for the package and to bring it inside. Graceful acceptance is the act of saying a full-bodied yes to the opportunities and the components that the universe provides. This is where your daily work of fulfilling your clause of being becomes so crucial. If you have been embodying the identity of a worthy and capable person, then when a magnificent opportunity arrives, you will be able to accept it with confidence rather than shrinking from it in fear. The practice is simple but profound. When the universe delivers an opportunity, a chance to speak, to lead, to create, to connect, your default response must become an immediate and joyful yes. You will say yes before your old, fearful programming has a chance to talk you out of it. For example, the universe delivers the opportunity for you to give a presentation at work, which is aligned with your contract to become a confident leader. The old you might have made an excuse to avoid it. The new you, the master receiver, says yes immediately and trusts that the resources and the courage needed to do it well will be provided. This act of saying yes is your active participation in the assembly of your dream. It is you picking up the tools and joyfully getting to work on the beautiful components your partner has just delivered. The third and ultimate principle of a master receiver is the acknowledgement of receipt. In any professional transaction, when a delivery is made, the recipient signs a form acknowledging that the goods have been received in good order. In your contract with the universe, your deep, genuine gratitude is this acknowledgement of receipt. Every time you recognize and gracefully accept a delivery from your divine partner, you must complete the transaction with a powerful and heartfelt expression of thanks. This is not just about being polite, it is a crucial energetic step. Your gratitude is a signal you send back to the universe that says, "Thank you. The component has arrived safely. I see it, I appreciate it, and I am putting it to good use. I am ready for the next delivery." This gratitude feedback loop is what keeps the process of co-creation flowing smoothly and joyfully. The practice for this is the gratitude ritual. Each time you recognize a delivery from the universe, you will pause for a moment. You can place your hand on your heart and say, silently or aloud, "Thank you. I acknowledge this gift. I am so grateful for this partnership." This simple act of acknowledgement makes the universe eager to send you more. It is like a business partner who is so appreciative of your contributions that they are constantly looking for new ways to support and delight you. You have now walked the entire path of a divine co-creator. You have canceled the old contracts of scarcity that no longer served you. You have drafted and signed a magnificent new agreement with the universe, a contract for a life of boundless abundance. You have learned how to joyfully fulfill your side of the agreement through your daily being and doing. And now, you have mastered the final beautiful art of receiving the universe's magnificent deliveries with awareness, courage, and a grateful heart. Your contract is not just a document, it is a living, breathing, and dynamic relationship between you and the cosmos. It is a sacred dance of asking, aligning, and co-creating. This is not an ending. It is the beginning of a life lived in a state of constant, joyful, and miraculous fulfillment. A life where you know, with every fiber of your being, that the universe is not just on your side. It is your ultimate and most devoted partner in creation. We have come to the end of our journey together, a complete guide to canceling your old, unconscious contracts of scarcity and drafting, signing, and joyfully living a new sacred contract with the universe. You have learned how to define the terms of your desire with clarity, how to define your own sacred obligations as an active partner, how to sign your agreement with faith, how to fulfill your side of the bargain daily, and how to gracefully receive the magnificent deliveries of your divine co-author. You now hold the blueprint for a life of conscious, empowered, and joyful co-creation. May your new contract be filled with magnificent clauses, and may your partnership with the universe be a source of infinite blessings. Thank you for the honor of your time and for your courage in choosing to become the conscious author of your own reality. It has been a joy to serve as your legal counsel on this sacred journey. If this guide has helped you draft a more beautiful contract for your life, please consider giving this video a like and subscribing to the Success Attraction Formula channel for more empowering content. We would be thrilled to read about the new terms you are creating in the comments below.